Evening campers, it's me, Kieran. I want to let you know that if you are not following me on Instagram, you should, because from here on out, I will be asking you, dear audience, to vote on the next book I will be reading in my Man Booker project. Therefore, if you want to know exactly what I am reading next, or you want to follow along and pick up a book that's been on your bookshelf for some time, Instagram is probably the best place to be. So I asked my dear audience, and they decided that the book I would be reading would be Paul Beatty's The Sellout. This novel won the 2016 Man Booker, and Paul Beatty himself is the first American and first African American to win the prize. And what a book! He won it on. The premise of this novel is that our titular character, the Sellout, also known as me, predominantly called Bon Bon, is an African American living in California who is waiting to be tried by the Supreme Court of America for owning a black slave and bringing back segregation to his hometown in Dickens. It's that. Just from hearing about these small screws that are holding together one of America's greatest satires, probably one to rival Catch-22, I would say, you know what controversies and how provocative each page will be. And please do not think that Paul Beatty takes his foot off the pedal once. This novel stares race and racism in the eye and refuses to break concentration. It puts the issues of race in America on a pedestal while it spits in its face, smacking it around, saying, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. I appreciate that the whole stop hitting yourself thing can come across very childish, but this book is not afraid to dip into childishness, into schoolboy errors, into colloquial, international, into global. It's never afraid to broach into a space. At times you will find stereotypes hyperbolized and pushed to the nth degree. There are times where you will find complete overt racism towards someone. But at the same time, and littered through, there's Latin phrases, there's literary references, there's niche cultural references that you would only understand if you live in California. This interplay between the highbrow, the lowbrow, the colloquial, the national, the near, the far, the nuanced, the overt is very much a nod, a homage and a pastiche towards hip-hop. In the same way the hip-hop writers are waxing lyrically, they're fast-paced, they're quick-witted, their use of language and their manipulation of words to give topics timbre and texture. Beatty is using this in the same way to explore a very difficult topic: race and racism. When you dip your toe into topics like that and push them as far as Beatty is, you are going to fall into offending people. And the Sellout very much questions the notion of what it is to be offended. He says that when emotions come into play, it's something tangible. So when you laugh, it means you're happy, and when you cry, it means you're sad. But to be offended falls into this grey space. And the example he uses that a director would never tell an actor, I need more offendedness. Yet being offended is very much an emotive experience. As soon as we feel offended by something, our barriers come up, and so does our armour. We want to be put into people who are with us and against us when those moments happen. But the Sellout will never let you get to that point. It will smash down your barricades and it will obliterate everything in front of it. So how the hell does a book like this manage to do that? It's because it's a facade. It's just that the issues that were there were always there in front of you. It's just that we have decided to term or put a phrase on top of it. So let's explore that with the two main reasons the Sellout is on trial: owning a black slave and segregation. The Sellout slave is an old man, Harmony Jenkins, who was a child actor in the 1930s and very much lives and breathes the stereotype of what Hollywood believed a black man should be. Completely unhinged from the offset, Harmony Jenkins tries to kill himself by auto asphyxiation, and the Sellout steps in to make sure that he does not kill himself. What leads on is a conversation where Harmony says that he wants to be a slave to the Sellout. Clearly confused and bemused, the Sellout isn't sure why he would want that, but Harmony pleads so much that the Sellout completely agrees to it, and therefore he owns a slave. And Harmony is a bad slave, because anything that the Sellout asks him to do, Holly just refuses point blank. What occurs is more so a pseudo-masochistic relationship, and probably one of the most graphic scenes is the first time that the sellout takes off his belt and whips Hominy in public. And the further we get into the novel, Beatty really unpicks what slave master means, so much so that it feels the sellout needs Hominy more than Hominy needs the sellout. The reason why the sellout needs Hominy is so that people's heads will turn and start taking notice of a city called Dickens. Dickens is the city where this takes place, but to call it a city would be wrong because California has revoked its status. It doesn't actually exist on a map anymore. And the sellout feels as though it's his duty and purpose to reinstate that city. Thus, those who have abandoned Dickens will want to turn their heads back around to see what has gone on. That seems to be the main purpose of the sellout's motive. Another motive for the sellout is to segregate the school. However, the school was already segregated, it seems. There's no white kids who go to that school, and African Americans and those of Latino descent don't intermingle. Therefore, it's only when the school is classified as segregated do people get offended by that. But why weren't they offended before? And it's very much a central heart of this book, which is interesting and very much. This book is very much a book of ideas. The ideas and what come forth outside the text is definitely more intriguing and thought-provoking than actually what goes on in the novel, I would say. Definitely feels as though there's a tension between us and them. One exploration of this in the novel is a black comedian who's extraordinarily funny, and a lot of people from the black community go and laugh at his very funny jokes. But two white people walk in one night and the sellout notices them, thinks nothing of it, and because the comedian is funny, the white people laugh along at the jokes. But the comedian stops the show and says, "You need to get out. This is not for you. This is for us." And this is where the sellout almost has an epiphany. He understands why it's wrong for the white people to laugh at jokes based on black people, yet he doesn't really understand what the comedian means by "this is our thing." And in the book, he says that he wants to stand up and protest and say, "What do you mean it's our thing?" Yet he doesn't. He stays silent. He stays complicit through it and allows to people who are in their own right deserves to be there leave. And it really is these nuanced, understated, underplayed hums of nuance that completely shine against this loud orchestra of offense, overt racism, controversy, and provocation. This is where the heart of the novel truly beats. Yes, this book wants to get a reaction out of people, and it got a reaction out of me. And if you read it, it will get a reaction out of you. It's an impossibility, I feel, that you will come out of this book completely unscathed, because Paul Beatty is throwing his fists left, right, and centre, making sure that no one is being untouched. When you think that he's leaning across the line, really he's taken 100-yard run up and pole vaulted right over where you think is the limit. You think it's the limit and he just goes there. He goes there faster than you think. And this is the one issue I have with the novel, is that it's tangent central at times. And I have to be honest, you have to go into this and just submit yourself to what is happening. There are some illogical things that happen and you're scratching your head thinking, why is this happening? But you just have to succumb to it, because Paul Beatty, it has that rhythm where you're just completely swept in the undertow and you just have to figure out where you are at the end. Yet as I say that, know that if you flail your arms about in a crowd, yes, you'll miss, but at times you'll get a critical hit. And the moment where this book hits the nail on the head, it hits you right where you need it to be. It's like square in between the eyes. And it's the humour, it's piercing. Don't get me wrong, there were moments I was laughing at things I should not be laughing about, and that you feel awful for laughing about it. But that's the beauty of this satire that Beatty has created, is that you're laughing because it's exposing a truth that was already there. It's as if the issue is so bright and glaring in your face that you can't actually tell how illuminative it is until someone actually points it out to you. And it's so obvious by that point. Is this book for everyone? No. Who is this book for? I don't know, because everyone's teeth gets kicked into some way, shape, or form in this novel. It's quite a feat. So let's rephrase the question. Would you enjoy this book? Should you go out and pick up The Sellout? If your interest has been piqued in any way, shape, or form, you've already sold yourself on this book, and you should go out, read it, and indulge in a book that's very different from anything else that you'll ever read. If you have not been sold, this book isn't for you. And you know what? That's completely okay. This truly is a polarizing novel, but I promise, if you succumb and embed yourself into Beatty's work, you will revel in the discomfort, you will laugh when you want to gasp, and most importantly, you'll think when you don't realise you needed to. It's the good book drill alert. This is a 8 out of 10 for me. I really hope you enjoyed the review, and Instagram has already spoken, so the next review I will be doing on the Man Booker series will be Midnight Children by Salman Rushdie, so I really hope that you can join me on that. I'll see you next time. Bye!